To change the topic a little bit, what sports do you like?
Oh, also I have to admit that I am not a sporty person, and I'm not. I don't do, I don't do too much sport, and the only sport that I play is badminton, because that is, that is a subject at school in the PE class. So that's the only sport that I play.
Okay, okay. And where did you learn how to play this?
Sorry, I cannot hear you. Can you repeat that?
Where where did you learn how to play badminton?
Oh, so I am not joining any professional classes, or take any professional badminton classes, or study with any teacher. I just learn by myself and learn on the internet. And me and my friends, we are usually go to the go and play badminton together. So I just learned it by myself and on the internet only.
Okay, and playing with your friends.
Yeah.
Um, did you do any other sports when you were younger?
Um, if my memory serves me right, when I was younger, absolutely I did not join or play any sport, because at that time I didn't know how to play badminton, and I find sport is too hard for me. Like, at the time, my thought was like, well, I'm a girl, I'm not into sport, I am not sporty. So yeah, I didn't do or join or play any sport.
Okay, okay. Um, and when it comes to students, do you think that they need more exercise?
My answer would be yes, because when it comes to student in general, or to be more specific, it is the teenagers generation nowadays. The obesity and all of um, the physical health related is raising really high right now. So stop. I think that they should stop um, being stick their eyes to the computers or playing games all the time, or maybe stick with the phone. Instead of that, I think they should go outside and do more physical activities. Badminton, for instance, swimming.
For instance, yeah, yeah, I agree, I agree. And do you use a computer much?
Um, Compared to my phone, I think I use my computer less than my phone, but I still use computers usually for my class, for my assignment. Whenever I need to submit my assignment to school for my teachers, and I also join some online courses, for example, for IELTS and for math and literature, because I am a senior at high school this year, so I have to join online classes in order to improve myself and get to know more about, yeah, about the entrance exam into university.
Okay, so for you, it's useful, it's practical,
Yeah, for me
it's an
the
easier tool.
Yeah, for me, the lessons online and all the lessons that the teacher provide me is really practical, and it's really I find it useful for me, because all of that is really fit with the educational system here in Vietnam. And yeah, I feel like after a month learning it, I feel myself on the next level, and yeah, I've been improving a lot.
Um, when was the first time you used a computer?
Oh, if my memory serves me right, the first time when I was in grade 7. So the the events was I got my math result of the final exam, and I got 10 marks. So my parents gave me as a gift for me to try better, try harder in academic performances. So that was the first time I have. That was the first time I owned and I used a computer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you remember it? You remember it well?
Yeah, because that was like a memory of mine. The first time
Yeah.
I received an expensive gift. So yeah, it was such a
Yeah.
great memory.
Yeah, I remember the first time my family got a computer too. Like it was a big deal.
Yeah.
We still didn't have internet for 5 or 6 more years, so. What would your life be like without computers? With no computers?
So without the computer, which means we still have internet, right?
I don't know. I think probably not really. I mean, you're imagining that we still have phones, I guess, but with no computers, I think no phones,
So in
probably
general,
no internet.
the world without internet and
Yeah, you have to go back pre-computers, so
oh,
everything that comes after AOL, I don't think we get that.
okay. So to me, I think it would be a hard time for not only for myself but all the people, all the citizens all over the planet, because nowadays we rely too much like on AI, computers, and internet. We look for informations on there on the website. Like we no longer use the dictionary, the book dictionary anymore. We use tangible. We use it online. So yeah, I think it's kind of hard, and people would have been through a really hard time.
Right? And can you imagine life without Google Maps? No Google Maps?
Oh, okay. So the life without Google Maps, I think it would be like people would use the maps, the paper one, and look at it whenever they go somewhere.
It's not very long ago, For most of my traveling life, there was no Google Maps.
Yeah, yeah. But now today, I still see some people they still using the maps. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know why though. It's hard to imagine why. I think Google Maps becomes something, it's like a body part or something. I think it's impossible I wouldn't carry around a map anyway. I wouldn't see the point.
Yeah, but many years ago, my mom, yes, she didn't use any maps. She just learned the street and all of the how to go there by heart. I mean, it's normal.
But it was hard too. People
Yeah.
would miss each other a lot, or not even meet, or just be in a completely wrong place, and maybe never know it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Hard to imagine, different world. So if you look in the chat box, I have put your part 2 there now in the chat box. So it's a time when someone asked for your opinion. So you should say who asked and why they wanted to know your opinion, and what opinions you gave, and explain how you felt.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you a minute there.
Yeah, I saw it.
Is the time up? 1 minute?
That's about a minute, yeah, if you're, that's you, Doreen, is it?
Okay, is the time's up?
Yeah, whenever you want to, you can go there.
Okay, so I'm start speaking now. So I'm going to describe a time when someone asked me for my opinions. So if my memory serves me right, so the time was I worked together in a group with my friends, with my classmate to be more specific. So we were uh, we were doing presentations about the environment. Yeah, in general. So yeah, we work together in a group. So everybody should discuss together. They should give their opinion and they should explain why they choose this topic, why the point is that. So yeah, so me either my friends asked me about my opinions on the topics and why did I choose it. So I explained the reason why I choose it was um, environment is very important to us and it is such a hot topic and it's maybe captivate the classmate and the teacher's attention. So I choose it and we have a great time discussing together and I feel like my opinion is was valued by other person and I feel like I loved working with these people because they are appreciate my opinions and my perspective about something and I think that it was such a great time that we working on together and finally the presentation was a success to us and the teacher gave us high marks and said that the presentation was such a an impressive one and that could be like a role model for any other groups in the class.
Okay. Was that the end? Yeah?
Yes, that was
Good.
the end.
Okay, well, good timing, man. Good timing on that one. So we'll continue on in that vein then, talking about opinions, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So why do some people dislike giving their opinions?
Oh, well, I think the biggest reason, the most reason why people dislike to give their opinion, their perspective, is mostly they scared to be judged by other people. They scared to give their opinion because that is such a scare to them. Maybe they're scared that other people would judge them in a negative way and said that their opinion uh, wasn't good and wasn't really get on well with them. So yeah, maybe that is the reason why people scare or dislike to give their opinion about a certain thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, this is a strange question, but let's go for it. Are there any apps designed for collecting opinions about products or services?
Oh, well, I think when it comes to connecting opinions about products or exchange things, I think it could be an app which is called Shopee. It is a platform for selling products and not only selling the products, but you can also exchange your reviews, what you think about, what you've thought about, and your experience about that product, and maybe your reviews could be okay, could be compliments or it could be a bad reviews on some product for people to prevent buying it.
Sorry, no. Why do people like to express their opinions on the internet nowadays?
Well, I think most of people who likes to express their opinions on social media platform because they like every other person, everyone to see that and to like accompany with them on that opinion. For example, there was a drama on the Facebook about Donald Trump about politics event and some people they will be on the Republican team. Maybe some people they will be on the Democratic team. Yeah, that's the way they show their opinions. Their opinions about Donald Trump. For example, they give good perspective about Donald Trump for for the Americans, and to that's the way they want the Americans to vote for Trump, so they give good perspective about Trump. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. So people, they just want to find people who agree with them?
Yes, exactly. Some people, they just want everybody to agree with them, and to like they form a team that they have the same opinion.
Like a gang.
Yeah.
So what are the disadvantages, would you say, of sharing your opinions on the internet?
Okay, so I would say the worst advantages would be people would have haters, and would be hated on the social medias, and maybe some worse event could happen to them, like maybe they could be there's a thing which is called digital footprint, which is everything you posted on the internet could be searched and find all over again, which means that you cannot escape it. Everyone could like found it in such a random day. Maybe you would have many haters because of the thing that you've said online. So it's quite dangerous sometimes. Some people they would have they would maybe want to hit you, or maybe there are some of the haters groups that created just for you.
Okay. Good job. Well done. You got to the end.
Okay, can I talk a little bit about my performance today?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. What have you got? Have you got something to say?
So to me, I quite stuck at some point that I cannot find the vocabulary to be appropriate for it. And you can see me stuck in it sometimes.
Yeah, I think I think your vocabulary was okay. It was flexible enough. You could always increase. I mean, we can always increase our use of topical vocabulary and use more suitable idioms and stuff. Anyway, even if they're very, very good. But I would say the main thing is that you're paraphrasing well. You're paraphrasing effectively and close to the meaning. That's good. That's what you want to keep. That is really the key thing. To kind of push your score above a 7, right? Paraphrasing, not just sort of doing it, but doing it very effectively, suitably, and accurately. And you have to do it flexibly across the board, not just being stuck in one way of saying it, one way of thinking, essentially. I think I marked you very harshly today, if I'm honest. I really tried to test you, because I especially at the start, I thought you began very well. So I thought for a while I might be giving you 7s across the board. So I started to really try to test you out with the way I asked the questions and where we went with each question. So I think I pretty effectively did that, because I think I tired you out a bit in part 3. There was definitely a drop in the consistency of your control of your pronunciation in part 3, and definitely the cracks maybe started to appear where more complex kind of sentences are effective to make what we're saying more concise, right? More succinct. So snappier, shorter, less repetitive with the same structure, but with all the meaning. So in part 3, maybe that started to go downhill a bit. We were struggling a bit more as time went on. And that's very common. That's always what happens to people in the test, right? Generally, pronunciation and that general kind of command will drop with extended speech and as things get more difficult. So I would say for you, because this is a mock test, I really try to test you there. You know, you might get an easier time in an actual IELTS test. Sorry, I'm now in the background there now. A lot of people have just come in. But so, do you have any other questions in particular?
I don't know, the part 3 questions kind of like strange to me, and it's a strange topic, right?
Well, they are. Are there any acts? Was that strange to you?
Yeah,
Yeah. It is kind of an odd question, to be honest. I think you're right there, yeah.
Okay, so I have a question that if the examiner give you a strange topic, can you say that you are not familiar with this topic?
Yeah, you can always. And I would say in general, be honest, be yourself. That's very good. It's not a test to test your knowledge of any topic. And it's not a test to test what you're into or interested in, right? It's only testing your English. So if you very effectively and fluently say, sorry, but this is a weird one. Where did you get this question? I don't know anything about this. Who does?
Yeah.
Like, why would... Brilliant. You know, as long as you answer it effectively and your English, your spoken English is good and the meaning is clear, then, yeah, great. I would say always be yourself. You can give quite a well-formed, complete answer that says, that's an interesting question, but I really don't know anything about it, and I wouldn't know where to start in giving you an answer. And, you know, you can throw a lot of idiomatic language at it. I wouldn't reject the question, right? I wouldn't ever ignore it or refuse to answer. But if your genuine answer is, this is something I have little to no knowledge on, then you can say that, definitely, yeah. So, what I've given you here is a 7, 7s and 6s.
I don't quite catch that. It's the noise like blurry right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. But so I've given you 7, 7, 6, 6. So I've given you a 7 for your fluency and a 7 there for your lexical range. Maybe the lexical range is near the mark there. Maybe it's down near the bottom end of the 7. But I don't think that's any issue with your paraphrasing, for sure. And I don't think it's any issue with your actual command of the vocabulary. Maybe you can just increase the use of topical vocabulary, especially around whatever topics come up, and try to throw in a lot of idioms, and you'll guarantee that 7. But I think you're about a 7 there anyway. I also think you're about a 7 in your grammar, but I've given you 6, because in part 3, stuff did start to fall apart a little bit. So I marked you a little bit harshly, I would say, for grammar and pronunciation. Because I think they were, up to part 2, you were easily a 7. So in testing you a little bit and really trying to test you out, you've got a 6 for your grammar and a 6 for your pronunciation, right? But for most of the way through, I do think your pronunciation was hitting a 7. You were controlling everything. I would say things that popped out were that some diphthongs, the diphthongs, you know, the sound where the vowels go together. Like if you have O-U or A-O or O-A or 2 vowels together. So sometimes maybe those sounds were affected by your accent.
Okay.
Yeah. Go outside. Sometimes maybe those different sounds were affected by your accents. I would say. Ever so slightly. I would also say, just the music here, oh my God. So maybe sometimes the vowel sounds affected by your accent. A little bit. I noticed it more in part 3. I noticed a couple of sh sounds where it should be S, right? So maybe across the board, sometimes verbs, so conjugations essentially, put them into future past, different tenses. Also consistency with tense, which tense you're in, and also plurals. sometimes making things plural, or sometimes not making things plural when they should be plural. Minor issues though. They don't affect the meaning or the clarity, and they don't affect your fluidity for most of the time. You're very fluid and you're very fluent. So, the main thing to getting your 7 and guaranteeing that 7, you're very fluent. If you can fix some of the errors that start to come into your grammar, especially as you continue, and in part 3, where it's longer answers, right, and it's more complicated, if you can stop some of those errors creeping in, keep it concise, keep it succinct, right, so that you're using those complex sentences you have, and you're not reverting back too much to the over-simple sentences, which can get repetitive, and can also get hard to follow. They can get confusing, right, when you're going back to a basic sentence structure, because it's a little bit tricky to use the more complex sentence structure. So all of those kinds of sentences, you know, putting things together, connective, linking things, linking ideas, using if and or what, and using those effectively to make the meaning clear, but your speech more concise, more succinct. So I'm pretty sure you know what I mean there. It means using less words to get across more information. I would also say maybe in some situations, some of the simple vowel sounds. Now again, more near the end. I didn't notice it so much at the start. But some of your simple vowel sounds. So sometimes your O's or your A's. It might just be a thing as you get tired, but ensuring that you're pronouncing the right O, right? O where it's O, and A where it's A, and for A the same. Maybe that's just something that is very completely non-systematic, that you don't notice that you're doing it as you get tired. And maybe some slightly inappropriate verb choices as well, again near the end maybe. So those are more basic issues than the other issues, which are more complex. I don't think they're common for you though. I think that's just maybe we went on even a bit long. So in part 3, I think it's natural that some of those things drop. So yeah, I think you could be a 7 across the board. I nearly gave you a 7 across the board. I might be marking you a little bit harshly there, but if there is somewhere you could look at immediately to try to improve and make sure it doesn't affect you in the test, it would be that, your pronunciation and your grammar, especially as you go into extended speech, especially as you get more tired. That's where your control might start to drop off, and that's where people might find it difficult to follow, or that meaning might be lost, you know, in a mispronunciation, or possibly in a long extended sentence that has too much over basic grammar, where it could be said much easier. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I think I understand.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit going a bit bright here behind me. Okay?
Yes, so is it all of the feedbacks?
That's all my feedback. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for all your feedbacks, and okay, it was nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice to meet you too, and best of luck.